Stop waiting. Start rising. That's the truth most people run from because waiting feels safe. Waiting feels like hope, like patience, like loyalty. But the hard reality is this. Waiting keeps you stuck, while rising makes you unstoppable. Every second you sit in silence, replaying the past, holding on to what could have been, you're giving away your power. You're handing over your energy to someone who isn't even in the room with you. You're pausing your own growth in the hope that maybe, someday, he will turn back. But let me ask you, how long will you hold your breath for someone else's choice? How long will you keep your life on standby, waiting for someone to validate your worth? The truth is, life doesn't wait. Time doesn't wait. Opportunities don't wait. Only you are sitting there, wasting the moments that could be transforming you. Stop waiting. Start rising. When you decide to rise, you flip the script. You take the pain that once weighed you down and turn it into fuel. You stop asking, when will he come back? And start asking, how high can I climb? Rising isn't about revenge. It's not about showing him what he's missing. It's about rediscovering the greatness inside you. It's about remembering that you were valuable before he walked in, and you are valuable after he walked out. Waiting is weakness, rising is strength. And strength is what turns heartbreak into power. When you rise, your energy shifts. You walk differently, you talk differently, your eyes shine with a fire that no man can ignore. Suddenly, you're not the person who begged for love, you're the person who commands it without saying a word. That's the kind of transformation waiting will never give you. Waiting leaves you empty, rising fills you with purpose. Think of it like this. A queen never waits for someone to recognize her crown. She wears it proudly and moves forward. The world bends to her because she sets the tone. When you rise, you become the queen of your own life. You stop waiting for texts, calls, or apologies. You stop refreshing your notifications to feel relevant. You realize that your validation isn't found in his attention, but in your own reflection. You rebuild your mind, your body, your soul until you no longer crave what left you. Waiting is like being chained to yesterday. Rising is breaking those chains and sprinting toward tomorrow. If you want him to feel your absence, you can't sit around longing for his presence. You must create a version of yourself so unshakable, so untouchable, that even if he returns, you have to pause and ask yourself, do I even want him anymore? That is power. That is rising. Stop waiting. Start rising also means taking action every single day. Build your fitness because strength in your body creates strength in your mind. Chase your dreams because success is the loudest answer to abandonment. Cultivate confidence because confidence is rare and rarity is priceless. Do the things you always delayed for him. Travel, learn, build, expand. While others are trapped in the endless cycle of waiting, you are busy becoming. And when you become, you don't chase, you attract. Waiting is passive, rising is active. One drains you, the other ignites you. People respect action. People admire growth. And men, especially men, are drawn to women who are in motion. Women who cannot be boxed in by disappointment. When you rise, he feels it, he sees it. He realizes he is no longer the center of your world, and that burns deeper than any words you could ever say. He will come back, but by then, you'll be too elevated to be desperate for his return. You'll hold the power, and let's be honest, waiting has never brought anyone happiness. Waiting is stagnation. Life is meant for momentum, for forward movement. Every time you rise from pain, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than you imagine. Every time you choose growth over waiting, you reclaim a piece of your identity that heartbreak tried to steal. Rising is survival, but it's also victory. It's you turning loss into legacy, so stop waiting. Stop staring at doors that closed. Stop hoping for apologies that may never come. Start rising. Start running toward the version of yourself that doesn't beg, doesn't pause, doesn't settle. Start creating, building, achieving, smiling. Not because you want him to notice, but because you want you to notice. You deserve to meet the version of yourself that only rises when tested by fire. One day he may return. One day he may look at you and realize he let go of something rare. But the question is, will you still be waiting, or will you be so far ahead, so risen, that his return doesn't shake you? That's the goal. To rise so high that whether he comes back or not, your throne remains untouched. To rise so high that your life feels full without the need for anyone's validation. To rise so high that you finally see the truth. You were never meant to wait. You were meant to conquer. Stop waiting. Start rising. Because waiting is hoping, and hoping without action is weakness. Rising is knowing, and knowing with action is power. And once you rise, no man, no heartbreak. No loss can ever keep you down again. Confidence makes you unforgettable. Think about the people who walk into a room and instantly command attention without saying a single word. They don't need to be the loudest. They don't need to beg for anyone's eyes. They carry themselves with a presence that cannot be ignored. That presence is confidence, and it is the single most magnetic quality a person can ever own. You can have beauty, charm, even status, but without confidence, all of it fades. Beauty gets overlooked, charm can be faked, and status can be lost. But confidence is eternal because it comes from within. It's not something that can be taken from you. It's a fire you build, and once lit, it lights up every space you step into. Confidence makes you unforgettable because it's the rarest quality in a world built on insecurity. Most people doubt themselves, second, guess their every move, seek validation from others to feel alive. So when someone shows up with unshakable confidence, it shocks the room. It's like a breath of fresh air. People lean in, they listen, they admire, and here's the secret. Confidence isn't about arrogance, it's about certainty. It's about being so secure in who you are that you don't need the world to clap for you. You clap for yourself, you approve of yourself, that energy alone makes you stand out. Think about it. Why do men chase women they can't forget? It's rarely just looks. It's the energy, the way she carries herself, the way she moves with grace and certainty. A confident woman doesn't need constant reassurance. She radiates value just by existing. She doesn't beg for attention. Attention finds her. She doesn't cry for validation. Her silence speaks louder than words. That's why confidence makes you unforgettable. It shifts the entire balance of power. Confidence also creates emotional gravity. When you're confident, people feel safe around you. They trust your energy. They sense that you're not desperate, you're not needy, you're not clinging to them for worth. And that's powerful because neediness repels while confidence attracts. The person who's sure of themselves automatically becomes the prize, and humans are wired to chase what feels rare and valuable. When you're confident, you make others believe you are worth pursuing. And the truth is you are. But here's the catch. Confidence isn't built overnight. It's forged in fire. It's built when you choose not to break in the face of rejection. It's built when you show up again and again, even when the world tells you you're not enough. Confidence grows every time you silence that voice in your head that whispers doubt. Every time you choose action over fear, belief over insecurity, confidence strengthens. That's why it makes you unforgettable, because the journey to becoming confident is rare, and only those who rise above their self-doubt carry it naturally. Confidence is also unforgettable because it changes how you communicate. A confident voice doesn't shake. A confident tone doesn't plead. A confident presence doesn't apologize for existing. That doesn't mean arrogance. It means speaking with calm assurance, with authority, with clarity. People remember not just what you said, but how you made them feel, and nothing imprints on the heart more than the energy of someone who believes in themselves. Now, let's talk about relationships. Why does confidence matter so much? Because it's the very thing that determines whether someone chases you or forgets you. In love, beauty may catch the eye, but confidence holds the mind. It lingers long after the moment ends. A confident woman doesn't crumble when someone leaves. She rises, she glows, she evolves. That resilience makes her unforgettable because men realize they can't break her spirit. They may walk away, but they always remember her strength. Confidence also sets boundaries, and boundaries, believe it or not, are deeply attractive. Why? Because they show self-respect. A confident person doesn't allow mistreatment. They don't beg for bare minimums. They don't tolerate disrespect. They draw lines in the sand, and those lines demand recognition. That in itself makes them unforgettable, because most people lack the courage to demand more for themselves. When you do, you become rare. Let me tell you this. Confidence makes people think of you even when you're not around. It's the way you smiled when others doubted you. It's the way you walked away when someone tried to play with your worth. It's the way you lit up the room without trying. Those impressions stay etched in memory. Years later, people may not remember your exact words, but they'll remember how you carried yourself. And that is what makes you unforgettable. The truth is, the world doesn't forget confidence because confidence is a reflection of freedom. It's freedom from fear, from judgment, from dependency. When you're confident, you live on your own terms. You don't chase, you attract, you don't wait. You create, you don't shrink, you expand. That freedom inspires people, even intimidates them, because it's what everyone secretly craves but few dare to claim. And remember, confidence isn't about perfection. In fact, confidence thrives in imperfection. It's not about having everything figured out. It's about owning who you are, flaws and all. That's what makes it real, and real confidence will always outweigh fake perfection. People forget perfect faces, but they never forget real power. So if you want to be unforgettable, stop obsessing over being flawless. Stop thinking you need to look a certain way, act a certain way, or beg for someone's approval. Instead, start building your confidence. Work on yourself, honor your word, keep your promises to yourself, push past your fears. The more you prove to yourself that you can rise, the stronger your confidence becomes. And soon you'll realize you no longer need the world to remember you. You've already left your mark simply by being who you are, unapologetically and powerfully. Confidence makes you unforgettable because it's not just seen, it's felt. It lingers like a flame, impossible to ignore, impossible to forget. And once you master it, once you wear it like your second skin, you'll understand that the power to be remembered was never in their hands. It was always in your value multiplies when you focus on yourself. Too many people spend their entire lives pouring into others while leaving themselves empty. They chase approval, they chase love, they chase validation, believing that their worth depends on how others see them. But the truth is, the moment you shift that energy inward, the moment you stop pouring everything into someone who doesn't even see your value, you unlock a level of power and attraction that is unstoppable. Because here's the reality, nobody can value you if you don't first value yourself. Nobody can see your light if you keep dimming it for their comfort. Nobody can respect you if you don't start respecting yourself. The second you focus on you, your growth, your happiness, your healing, that's when your value doesn't just rise, it multiplies. When you focus on yourself, you stop depending on someone else to complete you. You realize that you were never half a person waiting for another half. You were already whole, already complete, already powerful. You start building habits that feed your mind, body, and soul. You invest in your health, your fitness, your dreams, your passion. And when you do this, your energy changes, you glow differently, you move differently. People look at you and sense that you are not starving for attention, you are not desperate for love, you are fulfilled. And fulfillment is magnetic. Fulfillment makes people crave your presence because most people are running on empty. Your value multiplies because self-focus creates independence. Think about it. When you're focused on you, you're not chasing, you're not begging, you're not waiting. You're living, you're achieving, you're rising, and that makes people curious, that makes them drawn to you. Humans are wired to desire what feels rare, and nothing is rarer than someone who doesn't need anyone else to validate them. You become a diamond in a world of glass, and let's be honest, when you pour too much into someone else, they start taking it for granted. They think your attention is endless, your love is guaranteed, your effort is free. But the moment you pull back and focus on yourself, they notice the absence. They feel the shift. They realize your presence wasn't ordinary. It was a gift. Suddenly, what they overlooked becomes unforgettable, and that is the power of focusing on yourself. When you focus inward, you also grow stronger emotionally. Instead of being tossed around by every rejection, every heartbreak, every loss, you stand firm. You no longer crumble when someone leaves because you've built a life that doesn't fall apart when they walk away. You've invested in yourself so you can always rely on you. That's what makes you untouchable. That's what makes your value skyrocket. People respect what they can't break, and self-focus builds that kind of resilience. Your value also multiplies because self-focus creates mastery. The more time you invest in yourself, the more skills you build, the more wisdom you gain, the more confidence you radiate. And mastery is unforgettable. People remember the woman who turned her pain into purpose, the man who built himself from the ground up, the soul who refused to stay broken. When you rise, when you evolve, when you shine brighter than before, your story becomes your strength, and that strength multiplies your worth in the eyes of the world. But here's something deeper. Focusing on yourself makes you fall in love with yourself. And that is the greatest love you will ever experience. Because once you learn to love yourself fully, you no longer chase half-hearted love from others. You no longer tolerate mistreatment. You no longer settle for crumbs when you deserve the feast. Your standards rise, your boundaries solidify, and your energy becomes selective. That's when your value multiplies because you are no longer available to just anyone. You are rare, and rarity is priceless. Focusing on yourself also changes how you carry yourself. You walk with purpose, you speak with certainty, you smile with authenticity. You no longer shrink to fit small spaces. You expand into your greatness. That presence alone makes you unforgettable. People sense when someone knows who they are, and they never forget it. They may not remember every word you said, but they'll remember the way you made them feel. And when your energy is rooted in self-focus, you always leave an imprint. Your value multiplies when you focus on yourself because it creates a shift in priorities. Suddenly, you're not living for them, you're living for you. You're not chasing their timeline, you're building your own. You're not comparing your worth to someone else's validation, you're defining it on your own terms. That level of independence is power, and power never goes unnoticed. Think of it like a garden. If you spend your whole life watering someone else's soil while neglecting your own, your flowers will never bloom. But the moment you start watering your own ground, the moment you start nurturing your own roots, your garden flourishes. And when it does, it doesn't just grow, it becomes abundant. It multiplies. People will want to step into your garden, they will want to taste the fruit of your labor, they will admire the beauty you cultivated. And it all began with focusing on you. The truth is, people may leave, people may forget, people may overlook you. But when you focus on yourself, none of that defines you. You rise so high that their absence becomes irrelevant. You create so much value in yourself that even if they come back, you no longer need their validation. You know your worth, you own your worth, and that confidence makes your value multiply beyond measure. So stop waiting for someone to recognize what you bring to the table. Stop begging for people to see your light. Stop living for their attention. Focus on yourself, build yourself, invest in yourself. Because when you do, your value won't just rise. It will multiply so much that even those who once underestimated you will have no choice but to remember you. And by then, you won't be the same person who waited. You'll be the person who conquered. Your value multiplies when you focus on yourself. Because the greatest gift you can ever give to the world is the fullest, strongest, most authentic version of you. And once you unlock that, once you rise into that, you'll understand this truth. You were never meant to chase. You were meant to shine. At the end of the day, it all comes down to this. Stop waiting, start rising. Confidence is the fuel that makes you unforgettable, and focusing on yourself is the multiplier that turns your worth into something untouchable. Life isn't about proving yourself to the one who walked away. It's about proving to yourself that you were always the prize. The world may doubt you, people may leave you, love may hurt you. But those are not signals to shrink, they are signals to rise higher. Because when you rise, you stop needing closure. When you build your confidence, you stop fearing rejection. And when you focus on yourself, you stop chasing people who were never meant to stay. That is how you win. Not by begging, not by waiting, not by breaking, but by becoming so powerful, so radiant, so unshakably secure in who you are that no one can ever forget you. He may come back, he may not. But the truth is, once you rise into the best version of yourself, it won't even matter. You'll be too busy shining, too busy building, too busy conquering. And in that moment, you'll finally realize you were the victory all along.